Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, Mark, and Pamela. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Parents, 1955, Part 94. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, July 1st, 1955. Dear Mother and Dad, thank you so much for Pamela's sweet little rumba sunsuit and panties and Mark's jeans. They're just ever so nice, and Pamela will be wearing her sunsuit this hot holiday weekend. If you ever see jeans like that in a smaller size, they'd be ideal for Pamela on cool days. Mark's will really get a workout. He wore his plaid outfit a lot up in Michigan. We got back very late Saturday night, and John and Mark went to Marion, Ohio all day Sunday, as Grandpa Zook is very bad again. Tommy flew from California for a few days, as they thought he was going, and John's mom has been there all last week. It's hardest on Grandma, I guess. Monday I took both kiddies downtown on the bus. The bus broke down, so an hour and a half trip. Had Pamela's year-old photo taken, and here are the proofs. Return as soon as you can, and if you like any of them, let me know. I had a tooth filled and tooth pulled about 3 hours ago, so about ready for bed. A wisdom tooth. We got your letter from the United States and noticed in today's newspaper that your 50-year Saskatchewan anniversary really raised a storm. First article I've read about Regina in a Cleveland newspaper, I think. Our booth got first prize, $25, and we made $250 as compared with $35 they made last year. I was so thrilled to learn about it when we got back. I had my picture in the newspaper, not a very good one. I need the clippings back as I'm historian this year and have to put the clippings in the yearbook. A lot have commented that it was by far the most outstanding booth. The newspaper didn't have the data right, as it was a Gold Rush Days theme. Did I tell you about Mark getting lost for 2 hours several weeks ago? He rode his bicycle almost a mile and a half, right up to the police chief's door. Also, I was chairman of decoration, not croupier. I was embarrassed about the silly bow. It was on the society page, no less. John has an all-day board meeting tomorrow, Saturday, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, so I must say good night. Pamela is really going to be the live wire of the family. She's so cute and bouncy, just always on the go. She plays out in the sand pile with the older children and holds her own. She took a few steps pushing her doll carriage, but not alone yet. My blood test showed only 69% enough blood. The iron is helping my throat. Good night. We love you and happy vacation. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, and Pamela. P.S. John says, "When's your mother coming anyway?" He's been expecting you all month. His hunches aren't working. Red. I got my driver's license Saturday after all these years. I was worried about my parallel parking, so John made me practice every night, and I did it just perfectly. I got a 90 on the rest of the test. Should have got 100. Like Mark's TT, better than ever. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, July 28th, 1955. Dear Mother and Dad, I've been trying all week to settle down to writing to you, as I know I'm overdue. I owe everyone letters, but it's the one thing you can put off, along with mending, and it's always on my conscience. It's 11:15 p.m. I've washing going in the washing machine, just finished hand laundry, sports shirts, Pamela's dresses and pants and slips, and washed Pamela's curtains, etc., and ironed 3 shirts, a beach coat, after feeding and bathing and bedding the children. Also started making some potato salad. so always lots to do. Thank you so much for the clothes for the children. I've been looking for a white shirt for Mark, so was glad to see it, and he'll be able to wear the overalls too, I think. Lately, they've been wearing only panties, as we've had some hot, humid weather that you warned us we'd get. It's so hard to get anything done then, as they don't sleep well in the afternoon. Mark does, but Pamela doesn't, as she's getting more teeth too. Good, very good to hear about Bud, and good luck to him. He's sure worked hard for it, but it will be worth it. I'm glad you had a good trip, and we're looking forward to your visit. It's interesting to hear you think Pamela's like John. Joan and Lenny were here this morning and said she looks like me. John's folks write that Mark and Pamela look like brother and sister. I guess you are all right. Mark is completely toilet trained at night too, and it's just wonderful. He did it all in 1 week, really. Guess he just caught on. He made one mistake and said, "What a shame, Mother." He was so disappointed. I was bending over the other day, and he patted my head and said, "What pretty hair. Just wait till Grandma Smallshaw sees your pretty hair." Once he said, "What will Grandma Smallshaw think of that sunburn?" He also said, "I don't want to wear that. I want to wear Grandma Smallshaw's pretty shirt." I'm sorry I was slow in writing, Mrs. Jelly, and hadn't mentioned it to you. I'd written the letter to the coast and did like the dress so much that Pam wore it for her birthday, and also had her photo taken wearing it. It arrived just before we left so hurriedly on our vacation, and the time Mark was lost, and I guess that was a few days I skipped in writing to you about. I really couldn't remember what I'd told you or what I hadn't. About 5:45 one night, Mark came in for supper, and I told him to go ride his bicycle and watch for Daddy while I fixed supper and fed Pamela. John came in a little after 6. I'd checked on Mark and thought I'd seen him down the street on his bicycle. "Where's Mark?" So John went to look for him, then I joined him, and we looked in every backyard. After about an hour, we had neighbors helping, and John and about 5 cars started scouring other streets. A neighbor called the police. I told them to look west, as he never crossed streets. Almost 2 hours later, 8 o'clock, they got word that he was at the chief of police's house, a mile and a half east, and had gone there, crossing dozens of streets on his bicycle, all by himself. The police chief said, "Yes, he strolled up my driveway and gave himself up." Joan just had a miscarriage 2 weeks ago, just 2.5 months, and Ann Duff is expecting her 4th child in March. Her eldest is 3, almost 4, then one Mark's age, then one last November. Bonnie is expecting her 4th, Joanne her 3rd, and Diana has 4 boys. I still have my sore throat, so plan to have a complete physical soon, as I'm always tired. I don't want to have an operation on my nose, as the doctor suggested, as I don't believe surgery is the thing. He said there was only a 50-50 chance of it helping, plus it's 5 days in the hospital. I think it's some sinus or infection that I can't throw off. We're going to a junior women's board picnic tomorrow night, bridge Saturday, and the folks, Dick, Joan, Carol, and Dave, and Lisa are coming for supper Sunday. I made an angel food cake for a shower Tuesday. I cleaned and washed, and John painted the basement. A big job. Looks nice. Next, he's doing the gutters. He has 2 meetings tonight, one last night. I love you. Good night. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, and Pamela. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, August 17th, 1955. Dear folks, I expect that you're enjoying or have enjoyed Norma's visit with you, and if she's still there, give her a big hello from us, and hope that they're enjoying Saskatchewan. We think it's wonderful that Grandpa came to the exhibition. I doubt if I'd have his energy now, let alone in 50 years. The exhibition will be up in Toronto the 1st of September, and we'll love to go up and see it. However, we're planning to go to Lakeside, Ohio over the Labor Day weekend. I expect great-grandparents Zook will be there too, and then we're going to a convention in Columbus in September too later on. It's the Junior Chamber of Commerce state meeting. They've asked me to go to be the chairman of the November state meeting for the auxiliary here in Cleveland, so want to get some ideas and also get away for a few days. John is getting on the National Convention Committee for next June in Kansas City. We may go. We thought we'd have a summer free of meetings, but John's been at a couple every night this week. Tonight he's making a speech, and next week he's out Monday and Friday, and I'm gone Tuesday and Wednesday, so we'll be home Thursday. The kids have me baffled. Had I written about the folks, Joan and Dick and Dave and Carol, coming for a picnic? They brought a swimming pool for the kids, and we spent a delightful week in it during the hot spell until Mark got a temperature of 103.5. The doctor put him on penicillin, which cleared up his throat, but he still had a temperature, 102.5 on Saturday. The doctor came out and couldn't find a thing wrong, so I'm trying to keep him quiet and away from other children, as we're always wondering about rheumatic fever. She ruled out polio. Tonight he was only 99.9 temperature, and Pamela's was 100.3. Not high, but a little. They seem okay now, so hope they are. So many kids are sick with colds and the flu. The doctor said more are now than in March. She also said they're wondering if these mysterious fevers are a mild type of polio that the kids are fighting off. Also, some have measles, and Mark has a rash, but I'm not sure. It's his heat rash. Such a business. Did I tell you that Ann Duff is expecting her 4th child in March? They're really setting a pace. Their eldest is 3. Joan Keese had a miscarriage. My roommate Gloria from the co-op in Seattle just had her 3rd, a girl. The first 2 were boys. I'm going to see Dr. Taylor on the 27th and have my yearly cancer check and physical. Friday night, John is taking me to dinner at White Oaks, a lush place for dinner and show. Our 5-year anniversary. John's mom had an operation last week and had the varicose veins in one leg tied. I guess she's finding it painful and found it hard to believe that John's operation wasn't. Joan simply raved over the lovely tablecloth you sent. That was certainly nice of you. You really needn't have. Did they send Bud and Doris anything? Also nice of you to remember Marion's baby. I didn't send anything since she hadn't ours. Did they come to see you? She said they were coming to Saskatchewan. I sure wish Bud could see Mark. Often he reminds me of Bud as a little boy. Tonight he told me Uncle Bud was up in an airplane with Grandma Smallshaw way up high in Saskatchewan. When he's home, John's been painting the gutters and eaves. Did I tell you he made a very good-looking 8-foot picnic table and varnished it? He's certainly a worker, always on the go. Have you heard something of Connie? I owe her a letter, but don't have her Saskatoon address. Do you have it? I am exhausted, so good night. Lots of love. John, Ruth, Mark, and Pamela. P.S. Pamela is walking. Mark said 22 words at her age, and she rarely says mama or dada. John says, Mark is just very astute. He took a knife from Pamela and gave it to me, saying, Pamela shouldn't play with things like that. It's very dangerous. Also Sunday, while John was at church, we were listening to the Episcopal service on the radio. When a man sang a hymn, Mark said that was Daddy singing in church. He looked at the little radio and said, I can't go to church because Daddy's already in the church in the radio, and there isn't room for me in there. Daddy should open the door for me. I remember when that puzzled me too. Good night. Love all. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, August 27th, 1955. Dear Mother, I'm not sure when I last wrote, but do know that I'm behind again on writing. You've certainly been busy with Norma and her boys, and glad to hear that you had such a good visit. When your letter came Friday, John said, "When's your mother coming?" Since you didn't mention it, I guess we'd better get Mark's hair cut. We've been letting it grow since May so you could see his curls. His hair just goes into curls all over his head. He doesn't even like me to comb them. "You'll spoil my pretty curls." And he wants Grandma Smallshaw to see them. It has been hot for them, though, and he's covered with heat rash. He had the pool out twice today, and he's in the tub now, but he's always covered with it in spite of heat rash powder. Too sensitive skin. Pamela rarely gets it. They seem fine otherwise, though. The swimming pools may have been responsible, but I doubt it, as everyone had the flu and fever in some form, and I was glad they didn't get colds as some neighbor children did. Dr. Nitch said, "You can't take away their fun." The swimming pools. I had a good report Saturday. No cancer. My pelvis and uterus are in good condition and position, all ready for another baby. My blood count is still down around 69%, so they want me to get built up, and I have another kind of iron to try first. I think Ann Duff very brave to have another baby so soon. I can have one whenever I want to, but don't feel up to it yet. We thought you might be going up to Lakeside with us Friday, but guess not. Grandma and Grandpa Zook aren't coming either. I guess there'll be about 19 there. Pamela is such a live wire. John told her, "When Grandma Smallshaw leaves, we'll give her a going-away present. A big surprise. It'll be you, Pamela, and she can keep you until you get over this stage." She did get a molar, so guess that's part of her difficulty. She's awfully cute, too. When you go into her room in the morning, she squeals like you're a long-lost friend, sort of like Auntie Elsie. Then when you take her out of her high chair, she screeches like you'd given her a gift. Eee! Just full of it. Mark has been asking for 6 months. "Where's Mark's pretty dress?" Friday he found one that Pamela hadn't worn, too big for her, and that was his. He insisted on wearing it, and when he went out and the kiddies teased him, he just pulled out the skirt and was so proud. He looked lovely with his curls, too. The neighbors had a fit. Bud will never believe it wasn't my idea or that I didn't encourage him, but really I didn't. I was slightly embarrassed when he went out. He's asked for it since when some little girl comes over in a pretty dress, but so far I've ducked it. To think I once coaxed Bud. I guess I'll have to get him some pretty shirts. I prefer white shirts and navy pants, but he prefers dresses. I played bridge Tuesday, board meeting Wednesday, and went shopping Thursday. Saturday we had the folks over, church Sunday. I think John is going to teach Sunday school. They asked him, and he said he would if they'd have a training course. It's 9:15 a.m. Sunday, and it'll be rugged when he works Saturday and out so many evenings, but thought he could decide. He's sure a hard worker, even trims all the edges of the lawn, even by the road, by hand, and sweeps all the sidewalks. He just got home from a board meeting, put Mark to bed, and is out working on the yard, watering. I've been asked to substitute in a bridge club Thursday, and Friday we're going to Lakeside. I hope to get cookies and a cake made and us all packed ahead of time. Does your last tooth mean you'll be getting all new false teeth? That's too bad, but you've really done well by your own considering they were so soft. Mrs. Ray recently went to the dentist and didn't have a new cavity. John's like that too. I have a front cavity and just got a $37 bill. John's cleaning the goldfish now and fixing us root beer floats. I've got piles of mending and ironing. Thrilling. We did have a nice 5-year anniversary. Cards from John, Carol, Connie, and John's secretary, and the folks with $10. Very lovely dinner at White Oaks. I had lobster tails, and we saw a good movie, Land of the Pharaohs. Very nice. We took some snaps of Pamela walking, and we'll send later. Good night. Love, John, Ruth, Mark, and Pamela. To be continued. Now, Ruth sent to her mother a program from St. Barnabas Church from September 11th, 1955, 8 o'clock a.m. Holy Communion, 9:15 opening service of the church school and installation of teachers. There was a processional hymn, second office of instruction, another hymn, and then the minister said, quote, "Dearly beloved, you stand here before God and in this company as chosen leaders in the program of Christian education. You have one of the most important and essential offices within the gift of the church. Your work is therefore not to be entered into lightly or unadvisedly, but seriously, conscientiously, and in the sight of God. With all this in mind, are you ready to be commissioned to your various offices?" Officers and teachers, we are ready, God being our helper. We here dedicate both our souls and our minds to Him and the work of His church in a sober, righteous, and godly life. In this resolution, we ask Him to confirm and strengthen us, that day by day we may grow in grace as leaders of children. Then there was a prayer for appointment of teachers, a hymn, announcements, the sermon hymn, the sermon, offertory, and recessional hymn. Now we have a number of comments. The first is from Tessa, based on the original publication, and the first is from Tessa J. Delina, the former secretary of Restless Educational Center in Metro Manila, Philippines. Dear Mr. Ray, happy millennium and greetings to you and your family. I am glad you have published another sequel to DMLR series after so many months. It's good to get back to my reading once again. Splendid photos. I sure loved watching those baby photos, most specifically now that it's both Mark and Pam featured now. Such pure innocence and happiness mirrored on their faces. Aren't they cute, cuddly, and lovable? I am quite sure that your family would love to watch and at the same time reminisce the childhood days of Mark and Pam. I still see Ruth performing her role as a housewife who is contented, happy, and energetic, and John who is busy as ever. I particularly liked Mark's antics, which were so funny. The times when he would pick up words or sentences from his dad and mom and would mimic them, just like an adult would act or talk. Or when he asked about his pretty dress and actually wore Pam's oversized dress. That was so funny. Mark at this stage was so curious and appeared to be quite intelligent and advanced for his age. One could see that John and Ruth are proud of their babies, their bundle of joy. Until your next issue, thank you once again for a wonderful issue. More power. Keep it coming. Truly yours, Tessa J. Delina, Quezon City, Philippines. And the next comment is from Patricia A. Ray, the third child of John and Ruth, who was born in 1957. Hi, Peter. I just finished SFMC number 41. What a riot. Some of Mom's quotes of Mark are hilarious. Want to play with my ducky? I'm looking forward to reading number 42. So what do you think we should do for their 50th wedding anniversary? Patricia A. Ray, M.D., Brookline, Massachusetts. And the next comment is from Mark Ray, who's the little boy in these early videos. Dear Peter, Alice, and Tim, thank you for the recent issues of the SFMC. The early years with Pamela are really something. I especially enjoy seeing the pictures. Mark D. Ray, Carlsbad, California. The next comment is from Ruth Smallshaw Ray herself. Dear editor, when we arrived home from the Bahamas, I immediately went through all the mail to read your letters. Then I read SFMC's 40, 41, and 42, all so nostalgic. How I missed my mother sharing in Mark, then Pamela growing up, and all their wonderful ways. I'm sure Alice can relate to that. Then number 44 came, and I remember leaving them for a month to fly to New Zealand and Australia. Mark 3 and Pamela 2 and Mark's 4th birthday. I just wept. Then we came home and I read their prayers and their play trips to New Zealand. I really had a spiritual experience. I prayed for forgiveness, my karma, I was just tremendously moved and overwhelmed. Thank you. Blessings. Love, Mother Ruth. Ruth S. Ray, Rocky River, Ohio. The next comment is from John S. Ray, who's the important part of these videos. Dear Editor, what a joy to read SFMC number 40. To recall again what a splendid little fellow Mark was. I do remember spending a lot of time on the handicapped art show, and I particularly recall a young artist with muscular dystrophy who held the brush in his teeth and produced beautiful paintings. I had forgotten that the handicapped art show won first prize in the Junior Chamber of Commerce competition. Our activity level continued unabated. Nice to be taken back to when Pamela arrived. What a busy, wonderful time in our lives. The pictures are just great of Mark, Pamela, and your beautiful mother. Keep up the good work. Love, Dad. And he wrote another letter. Dear Editor, SFMC number 41 has been read, and I really got a kick out of it. Wonderful to recall the beautiful artwork which Red did on our front window at 602 Huntmere Drive. The captions on your pictures are great. The many cute sayings by Mark when he was a little boy are priceless. I really roared at what he said when he saw your mother in the bathtub. Do you want to play with my ducky? Your mother and I have been reading your SFMCs together and greatly enjoying them. Love, Dad. John S. Ray, Rocky River, Ohio. And there's another letter from Mark Doran Ray. Dear Peter, thanks for your letter and recent SFMCs. They are really something. It's great to see all the great one-liners of Mark Ray. Patty was really blown away, especially by how much I missed having Dad around. Love these SFMCs. Mark D. Ray, Carlsbad, California. And another letter from Patricia Ray. Hi, Peter. I just finished reading SFMC number 40 and 41. They are real corkers. Totally priceless. Mom, Dad, and I are reading them at the same time. Mom was a real trooper, and Gertrude was a big help. I wish I could have met Mark at that age. It is a real gift that you have written these up for our family, Peter. Patricia A. Ray, M.D., Brookline, Massachusetts. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history. If this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, photographs, family movies and videos, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History with Peter J. Ray, at peterjray.com. So far, we've made 625 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. There's a donate button. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. You also might consider checking out our podcast, Adventures in History. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Restless Educational Center, located in San Juan, Metro Manila. At Restless, we specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. And the website is resalest.education, RESALEST. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.